So now we're recorded, and we're recording on, all right, we're live on Facebook and we're live on Zoom, coming to you from the south of Spain. Ross Garcia here. We have another person coming in on the call. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Today, we're talking about self-image, psycho-cybernetics. We're also going to be talking about Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and a little bit of Wallace Wattles for my people tuning in right here. And notes and what you can literally do with a pen, okay? What you can do with the pen and how to literally create your own economy. Now, right now we're going into, you could say, a digital age, right? If you don't have an online business, you're sunk, you're done. So what we do is we help people create a lifestyle where you don't have to clock in. So this is like a part-time business. This is like a full-time business. This is a residual business. So if you don't know what residual income is like, okay, I'm working my time for money, which 97% of people give their time for money. Now, we have some of the best people in the industry. We have people like Alex Morton, my mentor, Bob Proctor. And I started working in this business because of Bob Proctor. We actually had a convention a few days ago. So what's the difference between my life back then and now, right? Well, first of all, I believe in myself, okay? um there is times where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to achieve, right? I don't know if I'm going to achieve my goal. I don't know if I'm going to go to the next level. But it's a battle that you have with yourself. It doesn't matter what other people think about you. It doesn't matter what other people say about you. What matters is what you're thinking about yourself. Do you have self-confidence? Now, I have the self-confidence formula of Napoleon Hill in my book, but I didn't bring it out. But basically, the self confidence formula, the way it works is, I know that I have the ability to accomplish my definite major purpose in life, and I here and now promise to render such action. I know through the principle of auto suggestion, any idea that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually produce itself into outward physical reality. Too many people are, I guess you could say, are talking shit about your success and about what you're going to do, that they're not focused on their life. And the reason is, I say, is all you need is a pen, is because in the beginning, when I started studying Napoleon Hill, The Laws of Success, Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, How to Raise Your Own Salary, these are all books that Napoleon Hill did. In the beginning, I was broke. I was broke, and I was tired of being broke. I had a degree in finance and investment management. I went to the corporate world thinking that I was going to succeed. And guess what? I was humbled real quick. I got paid $24,000 a year. It wasn't enough money to pay my expenses. So you don't need an education to get this. What you need is, you need to be determined and you need to write down what it is you want. One of the things that I do in the morning is I start writing the things that I'm grateful for. I give thanks for the things that I'm grateful for. So how does that work? I'm so happy and grateful that I have my life. I'm able to walk at the beach. I'm in the south of Spain. I don't have to go to work. I have residual income. I have multiple sources of income. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. So when you do that, even though your present result might not have that residual income, even though your current result might not be, okay, well, I'm not making $100,000 a month. I've never made $100,000 a month. I haven't even made $100,000 a year. That's the present result. That's the current situation. We're not dealing with current events. We're using our creative faculties to create the lifestyle that we want. When you write down the life that you want, how you want your life to be, the outside world starts to mimic the inside world. It's like Bob Proctor would say, you can't paint the kitchen by painting the outside of the house. You have to start with the kitchen. You have to start with you. So who are you? So when I started studying these principles, I started working with Bob, and he says, "Look, Ross, you're not who you say you are. You're not Ross. You're a spirit." And I'm like, "Okay, so I'm a spirit. I know that. I know we have a spirit, right?" But he's like, "You also have an intellect, and in your intellect, you have higher faculties. Now you have the lower faculties. You can see, smell, taste, hear, and touch, but you could also use your imagination to create this life, right? Um, these are higher faculties: your imagination, the will, reasoning, intuition, memory, and perception. Now, when you change your perception about life and situations, everything else will change. So that's what I did. I changed my perception about who I was and how much money I was supposed to make. And I put a new idea to replace the old idea. So like my mentor Bob, he was always broke. He got this when he was like 27 years old. He met a guy at an airport called Raymond Douglas Stanford, his name. And he's like, "Look, Bob, here's this book, Think and Grow Rich." Now, this is like a new version, right? It has Napoleon Hill's face on it. But Bob Proctor's book is like from the 30s or from the 50s, right? So he's been carrying that book around with him for 60 years. He's been in personal growth and development for 60 years. So I look up to him because we didn't know this. We didn't know how to create multiple sources of income. But if I told you right now that all you have to do is impress the idea to the subconscious mind, you'd say, "Ross, like that does not make any sense." And that's the beautiful part about what we teach. It's not supposed to make any sense. It's not supposed to make any type of logical sense, because logically, you're not supposed to become wealthy. Logically, you're not supposed to have residual income. Logically, you're supposed to work hard, time for money to succeed. But guess what? There is another way. And I figured out the way. And I've been traveling the world, waking up when I want, working when I want, and I know that there's a pandemic and lockdowns and stuff like that. But in every great, I guess every great negative like situation, there's also an equivalent positive situation. So if we go into a depression, we're not depression. I guess we don't worry about depression. We make more money in a depression. We make money if the economy gets good or bad. So in this business of forex trading and cryptocurrencies, because we literally have all the platforms, we even started doing drop shipping. We're able to create residual income and start working with people all around the world. I got people in Mexico, Canada, Spain. I'm actually out here in Spain. And this is another source of income for me. I've been in cryptocurrency for 3 years. A lot of people don't even know what cryptocurrency is. If you ever heard of Ethereum or Hex token that runs on the Ethereum blockchain, then you would know what I'm talking about. If you ever heard of Bitcoin, then you would know what I'm talking about. But people think they know it all. People don't want to study. They don't want to grab a pen. They don't want to grab a piece of notebook. They want to stay fixed in the old way. And it's like Ralph Waldo Emerson says, to change the model, build a new model that makes the old model obsolete. There's so many people that literally changed the personal growth and development field. From William James, a professor from Harvard in the early 1900s, he said, "Believe in your belief, and your belief will literally create the fact." Now, you had God-given abilities. You have the imagination, and you can hold on to a beautiful picture with your will, which is your concentration factor, and focus in on the picture. And William James is like, "Look, you can't think for more than 60 seconds. And what happens when you're not thinking?" Well, that's what Wallace Wattles here in The Science of Getting Rich, he says the subconscious mind is thinking when you're not thinking. And when you impress an image upon the subconscious mind, it has no ability to reject, it must accept. So Earl Nightingale, which was mentored by Napoleon Hill, he says that the subconscious mind is like the dirt. It's immoral. It's like 0 point field, no positive, no negative. It's like zero, right? And when you impress your idea, the image, to the subconscious mind through enthusiasm, through a spirit of gratitude, it has no ability to reject. It must accept. And you do that by impressing it, by being enthusiastic, by being happy. So what do you really want? Because that's the name of the game. Name it and claim it. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm making millions of dollars. I'm retired. I travel the world. I have beautiful properties all over the world. I have rental properties all over the world. I have millions of dollars of Ethereum, of Bitcoin, of Hex, right? And you tell yourself these things, and then guess what? The outside world starts changing. So it's really what you're thinking about. It's like Earl Nightingale says, man is what he thinks about all day long. You are what you think about all day long. What are you thinking about? If you're thinking about abundance or failure, because if you're thinking about failure, be careful because it's going to be delivered right on schedule, like my mentor Bob Proctor says. Now, Bob was always broke and he got this information. He started a cleaning company, he made millions of dollars, and then he's like, okay, how can I get this information out to people? So he started working with Earl Nightingale, where I'm from in Chicago, and he's been in the personal growth and development field for 60 years. Now he just partnered up with our company where I'm working, creating residual income, mentoring people. And you guys that are on Zoom are part of the business. The people that are on Facebook don't even know anything about this stuff. So I would encourage people on Facebook and even you guys, the people that are already in the company, to go to our YouTube channel, Wealth Mindset Group, and become a member of our group, because Wealth Mindset Group is about not only about making money, but having HHW, which my mentor Bob Proctor calls happy, healthy, wealthy. So if you don't have HHW, happy, healthy, wealthy, then you're doing it wrong. And wealthy is not about the money. Wealthy is about extending the good that you desire. So money is a magnifier. Like my mentor says, he's like, money makes you more of who you are. If you're a good person, then you're going to be a great person. If you're a bad person, then money's going to make you even a more of a bad person. So what is it that you want? You want to help people? Because in this business of residual income, network marketing, the more people you help, the more money you're going to make. I'm the one that's out here traveling, telling you guys there is no limitation. The only limitation is the one you set up in your own mind. And, you know, it's like William James, he's like, believe in your belief, and your belief will literally create the fact. How does that happen? It happens because you're operating on a certain level, on a certain frequency. And the life, the good that you desire is up here. You can see it. You can maybe hold on to it with your will, but you can't connect to it. And the connection is made through the subconscious and the mind, because the mind is not the brain. The brain is in your skull. The mind is in activity and it's thinking at a high speed of vibration. But the frequency that you want, the, let's say, the house, the residual income, the, you know, the lifestyle, right? All those good things is a connection in your heart. And if you don't feel good, then it's not going to work. You have to feel good. So, you know, so I've been in this business for a while. I know what it takes, and I'm doing the work. I'm out there talking to people. Yesterday, a few days ago, we were in Rwanda, talking to people. That's what it's about, networking. Your net worth is your network, okay? Or your network is your net worth, all right? Um, and you can't change until you start accepting this information that it is possible, because you're operating on a program, on a what if scenario, like what if this doesn't happen. But you need to let go of the doubt. It's like in the movie The Matrix, Neo, he had to jump over a bridge, and Morpheus, like over a building, Morpheus like, just jump. And they really thought he was going to make it, but he ended up falling. But eventually, through repetition, that's why auto suggestion is really important. Like, I remember being in New York and listening to Bob Proctor on stage. Napoleon Hill was there, and he, not Napoleon Hill, but he was talking about Napoleon Hill in New York. Napoleon Hill was already dead, right? But he's saying how Napoleon Hill met Andrew Carnegie, and how Andrew Carnegie told him to look at himself in the mirror and to tell himself, to tell himself, what did Andrew Carnegie tell Napoleon Hill to tell himself? He said, look in the mirror and tell yourself, not only will you succeed what I've done in my life, but you're going to meet me at the post and beat me at the grand slam. That means that Napoleon Hill has made millions of millionaires through Think and Grow Rich. But Andrew Carnegie, he only made like 10 millionaires, Charles Schwab included. So it's true. Any idea that's emphasized, this is word for word from Andrew Carnegie. Any idea that's emphasized, that's repeated, that's either feared or revered, taken over to the subconscious mind, will begin to formulate itself into physical reality. So you're looking at reality with your lower faculties, with what you can see. And you're looking at your bank account with what you can see. But the more you study this information, it's like going to the gym. You're going to get rid of the see, smell, taste, hear, or touch, even though, yes, that is a part of who you are, because we're human, right? And you're in this experience with a human experience. But we're going to put all that to the side, and we're going to focus on our imagination, on creating palm trees, beach, ocean. Maybe you might want to go to China. Maybe you might want to go to Russia. Maybe you might want to go to Latin America. But if you can go there in your mind with your imagination, it's already yours. But there is a time where these things are coming to reality. There is a time, and that is actually what Wallace Wattles in this book, The Science of Getting Rich. He says there's 7 basic principles. And the law of attraction, which the movie, The Law of Attraction, which Rhonda Byrne did with Bob Proctor, they talked about the law of attraction, but it's not a primary law. The primary law is the transmutation of energy. So Wallace Wattles was basically, I guess you could say that Wallace Wattles was like the person behind the movie, The Secret, The Law of Attraction, because he says here, you guys can see it, okay? The 7 principles, he says, the first one is the law of perpetual transmutation, energy. The second law is the law of relativity. The third law is the law of vibration, which the law of attraction derives from the law of vibration. So these are laws, okay? And the last law is the law of gender. Now, just to touch on the law of gender, so that way you guys could explain, I could explain to you guys how I made $1 million. I actually made 1.75 million by January 1st, 2017. And I had wrote that down in a book, okay? I wrote that down in a book. Now we got 18 participants on the call. Nice. Okay, so I wrote that down in a book, and that was probably like 2014. So it took me about 3 years to manifest that. And I actually found the book at my mom's house. And a few months later, Bob Proctor's office called me to join his company. How did that happen? It happened because what Wallace Wattles here says, the law of gender, states that there's an incubation and ingestation period for every seed. We know what it is for a woman having a child is 9 months, but we don't know what a spiritual seed is. And just to talk about how a spiritual seed works and how it manifests this, how it manifests into physical reality, how it comes to be, I'll tell you the story behind Jack Canfield. He wrote a book called Chicken Soup for the Soul. Now, he was mentored by Bob Proctor, and he told Bob, he's like, look, I'm going to sell millions of copies of Chicken Soup for the Soul. Now, Bob Proctor was like, there is no way you're going to sell millions of copies. But then he said, I had to really think about what I was telling him, because there is no limitation. It's whatever you want. So he told Jack Canfield, you know what, you're right. You are going to sell millions of copies of Chicken Soup for the Soul. Now, at that time, he hadn't sold millions of copies of Chicken Soup for the Soul. But guess what? Not only did he sell millions of copies of Chicken Soup for the Soul, he ended up selling the company for millions of dollars. And he ended up in the Guinness Book of World Records for most books ever sold. So it is true. It is true. Any idea that's emphasized, that's feared or revered, meaning any idea that could happen, that you believe in or that you fear, because sometimes we don't get what we want, we get what we fear. So yes, he ended up in the Guinness Book of World Record, and Bob Proctor's like, this information is mind-boggling. Now, if you want to verify what I've been studying, because I've been studying this stuff for 10 years, there's a book called How to Raise Your Own Salary. My mentor, Bob Proctor, actually signed it. I actually paid thousands of dollars for that book because it's signed by Napoleon Hill. Then I had my mentor, Bob Proctor, sign it as well. But it's called How to Raise Your Own Salary. And in that book, Napoleon Hill is having a conversation with Andrew Carnegie, the richest person in the world. And he's worth probably an equivalent to Jeff Bezos. And he's telling Napoleon that there is a hidden law of nature that not even the wisest of men can understand. What is that hidden law of nature? Well, the hidden law of nature means that Isaac Newton, he basically is the father of calculus, and he looked into it. He figured out what gravity was. We've looked into it and we figured out how to bring the internet to our cell phones. We looked into it and we figured out how to watch TV, how to have a radio. So these last 100 years have literally changed humanity because we're able to see each other all around the world. Yesterday, I was having a conversation with my son on WhatsApp, you know? So I'm in Europe right now, but I get to talk to my son and I get to see him. So the world is literally changing. And if you don't get with the program, you're going to be left behind. Now, what's at stake here? Millions and billions and trillions of dollars, because this is literally the biggest transfer of wealth in human history. And the question is, will you participate? And will you be a part of Wealth Mindset Group? Because I'm not here doing a smoke screen. I'm here telling you that I'm a product of the product, made millions of dollars and will continue to make millions of dollars. I'm completely liquid, okay? And I'm traveling the world and I'm my own boss. I wake up when I want, I go to the grocery store, I don't look at the price. And it's a good feeling, guys, because where I was, like, I would say about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I was broke, just like my mentor, Bob Proctor. Broke. The most I ever made was like $65,000-$70,000 a year because in 2001, I was selling cell phones at Circuit City. So it's like, okay, well, I was selling cell phones, but I was making a lot of money and I was young, but that opportunity was taken away from me because the Twin Towers got hit and they ended up laying me off because I was on commission. I was the number one salesman for Circuit City. And back in the day, we were selling phones when there was no internet on the phones. Like, I remember having a phone when I was 15 years old. And I had that phone and I was wasting minutes on that phone. My mom ended up getting the bill. It was like $6,000. Luckily, the company was scamming people and they ended up clearing the bill. It was called MCI WorldCom, if you guys ever heard of MCI WorldCom, but they ended up going bankrupt because the CEO was doing some shady stuff in the stock market. And, you know, shady stuff is real, guys. Like, the money system, the printing that these people are doing, the lockdowns that these people are doing, it's real. These people are printing trillions of dollars and it's not going to end up in a pretty place. So you have to be, like James Allen says in the book, As a Man Thinketh, he says, environment is more important than heredity. Why? Because you have fourth, fifth generation welfare recipients that are depending on the government to give them a check. So it's like your environment. Are your friends broke? Because if they are, most likely you will be broke. It's like my dad would say, tell me who your 5 friends are and I'll tell you where you're going to be. So if your 5 friends are millionaires traveling the world, creating companies, making residual income, working with the right people, then guess what? You're going to be a millionaire. But too many people have doubts and too many people procrastinate and think they know it all when in reality, we don't know shit. And I'll be the first one to say, I don't know shit. Like, I'm learning every single day. I'm reading Think and Grow Rich every single day. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, Genevieve Behrend, Your Invisible Power, Thomas Troward, the Dory Lectures, the Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science, The Law and the Word. These are the people that I'm studying. People like William James, the father of psychology in basically the modern world. And it's like, if you only knew how powerful you were, if you only knew that you are so powerful that you can literally create your own economy, because the subconscious mind is thinking when you're not thinking. and it's on autopilot and it's giving you what you don't want. So it's about changing that subconscious mind, changing that behavior, changing the way you do things, and adding more value to your life. It's like no one's going to look out for you. You got to look out for yourself. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to study every single day. You have to, like Napoleon Hill says, go the extra mile, give 150%. But we don't do that because we're looking at the outside world. Oh my God, he's got a Ferrari. I want to be like him. Well, guess what? That person worked his tail off. That person was, doing stuff that we don't even know about. Like I remember me, I used to sleep at the mortgage company. I was an operations manager and I literally brought like 15 people into the business. Why? Because I was an operations manager. That was my job, was to bring people into the business. Then in 2008, when the last depression or recession, whatever you want to call it, when that happened, people were like, you're in the wrong business. And I actually believed them. So I ended up going to college and I got a degree in finance and investment management. Did it serve me? No. And then what ended up happening? I ended up going on the opposite side, just like Napoleon Hill says, there's always an opposite, the law of polarity. There's opposites, the law of opposites, up, down, in, out, open, close. What did I do? I opened up my own loan modification business and made millions of dollars and helped so many people save their homes so they don't get kicked out from their house by banks and attorneys. So I had attorneys working for my corporation, helping people stay in their homes. I've helped thousands of people. I had a lady, she had cancer. She was crying to me, telling me if it wasn't for you, I would have been thrown out of my house. I saved her house. I lowered her interest rate. I helped my parents lower their balance by like 75%. How does that happen? It happens because I did the research on the programs, on the home affordable modification program. I carry the pen all the time. It's like they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. It's true. Because if a pen, if you can write down the life that you want, that's the first step of the creation process. What do you want? Do you have it written down? That's why Bob Proctor always carries a gold card, because he's looking at his goal. If you look at my wallet, I got a bunch of gold cards. I remember writing down on a blank gold card, and I was so happy and grateful that I owned 20 properties paid off for my retirement. Then I ended up getting close to 10. And then I sold some off, and then I got into cryptocurrency. Game changing opportunity. Millions of dollars are on the table. And you look at it and you have doubt, fear, and anxiety. And what does that cause? Depression, disease, and ultimately death. Like my mentor Bob Proctor would say, the saddest thing in the funeral is not the death of the body, but the death of all the dreams, the untapped potential. And just to end this, when Napoleon Hill met Andrew Carnegie seen something in Napoleon that Napoleon didn't see in himself. Greatness. We have greatness. You have greatness. You guys on Facebook have greatness. But the question is, do you believe that you're great? Because you've been beat down through life, just like me. I got the degree. I went to get the job. The job didn't pay me what I wanted. I was pissed off. I was negative. I was depressed. I was drinking. I was driving. I almost died. Question is, do you believe that you're great? Do you believe it? Because like, I remember Paul Hutsey saying, he's like, you're a Mona Lisa. You guys are a Mona Lisa. But do you believe that you're like a rare piece of artwork because you have capabilities, higher faculties? You're God's highest form of creation, and you're gonna squander it. You're gonna throw it all away. That's why I bet on myself. That's why I'm out here traveling, driving, going everywhere. I don't believe in other people's belief system. If I do, I'm done. I'm finished. I have to believe in me because I went through the work. I'm sitting there crying. I'm sitting there with the determination, with courage to try to get to the next level. Every next level requires a new you. It's the self-image, what Maxwell Maltz talks about in psycho-cybernetics. The self-image. When you find out more about you, you begin to change. You create what's called a paradigm shift, like Bob Proctor, a paradigm shift. And when my sister was sitting there working for me, she's like, I'm making more money working for my little brother than I work for a bank. I was always following her footsteps. She worked at a bank. I worked at a bank. I worked at JP Morgan Chase Bank. She worked at JP Morgan Chase Bank. She worked at a bank as a manager, and then she got laid off. So she started working for me, and she's like, how does this stuff work? And why do you always carry this book, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich? I said, there's a secret in this book. And if you do what the book is telling you, you can literally create anything you want. And I said, what do you want? She's like, I want to make $100,000 a year. She was thinking on the same level that I was. At one point, I was thinking, well, I want to make 100,000 a year. But then I told her, why don't we make 100,000 a month? Now she already saw her little brother making 100,000 a month. So when someone in your family crosses the finish line, you cross the finish line. When you see your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad making millions of dollars, you're going to make millions of dollars, because environment is more important than heredity. But at the same time, heredity is like, who are your parents? Were they broke? And I like what James Allen says. He says, mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. And evermore he takes the tools of thought, shaping what he wills, brings 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. His environment is but his looking glass. What do you see? I was sitting there at the beach yesterday, and I was thinking, oh my God, my life has totally changed, because I stopped believing in politics. I stopped believing in Biden won, Trump won. That doesn't matter to me, guys. I'm outside of the television. I don't let a piece of box with antenna control my thinking, because you are a receiving station and you are a broadcasting station, and you have to be careful what you're receiving. So that's why I don't watch TV. I don't care who wins the presidential election. I create my own election. I'm electing myself. You think Donald Trump and Biden are going to pay your bills? You think Queen Elizabeth out there in Europe is going to pay your bills? You're going to pay your bills, because you're going to impress an idea of making $100,000 a month like my sister did, and you're going to start making $100,000 a month. But there's a season to sow. There's a season to reap. You can't do both in the same season. And that's why my sister is making $100,000 a month after 2 years. But guess what? She would have never had made $100,000 a month if she wouldn't have been persistent, if she wouldn't have kept going. So these are the things that are going on in our life. The things are like Ernest Holmes says, if you Google Ernest Holmes, you've been living in a state of confusion. You didn't get this because you didn't know. Because at the year, maybe second, third grade, they told you, put the crayons away. You need to get A's and B's. Put your feet on the ground. So you stop using your creative faculties. You stop using the right part of your brain. You start using the analytical side, like attorneys when they're building the case. You started using the left side of your brain. And look, guys, I'm just like you. I went to school because they told me that I would get ahead, but that wasn't it. Thomas Edison never went to school. He was kicked out of elementary because he was too dumb. His mom had to lie to him. His mom told him, Thomas Edison, you're too smart, son. I'm going to homeschool you. You're going to stay home. I'm going to school you here at the house because you're too smart to be in school with the rest of the kids. So he grew up and he became a genius. He created the incandescent light bulb. That's why when you drop a bulb, it pops. He literally changed the world, illuminated the world. Why? Because his mom impressed that idea. You see, if your parents at a young age, if you saw your parents traveling the world, making residual income, maybe they were a part of a company, maybe they created their own company, you're going to be just like them. You're going to make millions of dollars just like them. But guess what? They never made millions of dollars. At least my parents did. I don't know if you guys come from a silver spoon or, a wealthy family, great. But you can add more value. You can add more to yourself. And that's why Bob Proctor grabbed the pen in Glenview, Illinois, and he says, you know what? I'm going to create a company that operates all around the world. But there's a season for that. And in his case, it took him 30, 40 years to create a company that operates all around the world. So I'm here to add value to you guys. Whether you like to believe me or not, that's up to you. I know what I've been through and I know what I've seen, and I've documented my progress throughout the way. That's why when you open up my notes, I got notes all over here, guys. I got notes everywhere because I'm changing the program. I'm changing the program in the subconscious mind about who I was, the self image, because that's where the program is in the subconscious. So when you stop thinking, the paradigm, the new paradigm of I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm making millions of dollars every single month. I'm traveling the world. I have the best friends. I eat the best food. I eat all organic. Things are going great for me. You know, I'm not too much of a wine drinker and cheese and ham, but I guess you could say I'm like one of those kings eating grapes and ham and freaking wine, right? Grapes. I have a butler, an assistant, right? I'm helping people get to the next level. Money's just coming to me. Why not? It's like I think people are confused about the Bible. They say the rich people will never go to the promised land. You'll never go to heaven if you're wealthy. So what are you going to do? You're going to go be broke? You're going to wear the same clothes for hundreds of years and walk around with ripped shirts and ripped clothes on? Is that what you're going to do? Or you're going to go out there and buy whatever you want and buy your kids whatever you want and see them smiling? Because I remember when I was little, I used to ask my mom, hey, I want this, I want this. My mom's like, we don't have enough. We don't have enough. And then guess what? You grow up to think I don't have enough. So you really have to start to think what you're listening to and what you've listened to at this point, because the past has nothing to do with your future. It has nothing to do with your present results. It's the way you think. And if you can think an idea of being happy, healthy, and wealthy, and impress that idea to the subconscious mind, feel good. If you have to buy yourself a dog, if you're not hugging anyone, or maybe you're hugging the wrong person, get away from toxic relationships, toxic people, people that don't add any value into your life. I remember sitting in California. I asked my friend, I said, how do people stay married? She's like, well, when you're in a relationship, it's about adding value to someone's life. I never knew that. I was like, so you're telling me if you're in a relationship and someone's not adding value to your life, then you're in the wrong relationship? Correct. If someone is not adding any value to your life, like let's just say somebody in your life does not believe in Napoleon Hill, does not believe in personal growth and development, does not believe in the law of attraction or making millions of dollars, and they're stuck and they want to remain in that place. They want to work 9 to 5 every single day. Great. But as long as they add value to your life, why? Because if you have someone in your life that's adding value, that believes in you, you're going to get to the finish line. But 9 times out of 10, you're in the wrong relationship. You're in the wrong place. There's no one adding value to your life. And when I got that, I was like, well, all I have to do is add value. Now, if you're adding value to someone's life, but you're not getting it back, it's okay. It's okay if you're not getting the value back, because you know what? Like Napoleon Hill says, there will be a day that someone comes in your life that will add value. It's like a river. The more you give, you might not see it right away, but you're going to get it back. That's why Bob Proctor is building schools in Africa every other week. They're building schools in Africa because it's about giving. The more you give, the more you get. But also remember, be grateful for the little things you have. Be grateful for being in the trenches, for working, for the struggle, because it's the struggle where you want to be. I remember when I got to London, I'm sitting there in a little apartment. My friend was a realtor. I didn't even know he was in London. He gives me the keys to the apartment, and I'm sitting there scratching my head saying, I haven't ate. I don't know where the grocery store is. I don't know where the restaurants are. I'm trying to download new apps, have no idea about currencies, about, I have to switch my dollars to pounds. I have to pay conversion fees. And that's the business we're in. And we're making money and we're growing and we're working with the best people. And we also have my mentor, Bob Proctor, a part of the company. So if you're not living the life that you want to live, learn from people that are doing it like me, because I have the results. I'm not here at my house with the television control, broadcasting from my house in Chicago, which I could. I'm actually out here in the south of Spain with sandals on, enjoying my life. I'm doing great, guys. Do I care what other people think about me? No. The only thing that I think is the transmutation of energy, because energy just is. And if you can formulate a picture of the things that you want, game over. You're going to have it. There will be a time where you have it. It's like a seed. I don't know if you guys know about this, but a bamboo tree doesn't grow out of the ground until 5 years. I remember Les Brown talking about it in New York when I was with them in New York. Bob was there. And Les Brown was talking about how you can water the ground for 5 years, guys, 5 years, and you won't ever see a bamboo tree coming out of the ground. But the 5th year, within 6 months, that bamboo tree is going to grow the size of that palm tree behind me. Within 6 months, it's going to grow 90 feet tall within 6 months. But the first 5 years, the neighbors all around you are thinking you're crazy because every night you're watering the ground, but you don't see anything. So it's the seeds. The seeds, like Napoleon Hill says, be careful what you ask for, because when you receive it, that's it. It's yours. You're stuck. I remember him talking about him finding his significant other, and he's like, I help her wash the dishes. I help her around the house. He's like, sometimes you have to rekindle that fire, that spark. And just like you were young, you had that spark in you, you had all this energy, but you went out to the real world and you were humbled, you were put down. That spark left your eye, that twinkle was gone. Why? Because you are in a pool of confusion. If you're confused, imagine you being around other people. Now you're more confused. So you have to get away from people. Go to a place where only you could talk to you. Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and write down what you really want. And when you do that, now your current results might not be there, but guess what? You're working towards it. Like people in this business. I got people on Zoom call right now that are part of our business. And we get a lot of negativity. We get a lot of doubt. But guess what? We're not going to let that stop us. We're going to keep going. We're not going to let the people around us bring us down. The television bring us down. We're going to create our own economy, and we're going to help people wake up from what? From a dream of what they were told, who they were, because that's not who you are. The reality is you can have anything you want, like Napoleon Hill says. He says the biggest sin of mankind is failure to take possession of your own mind. Because if you took possession of your own mind, you can literally have anything you want and you can have it in abundance. And that's why I was sitting there at the beach in the water with the beautiful sun, enjoying my life, guys. What would I have done if I wouldn't have been doing this? I would probably be still at a bank, miserable, pissed off because I didn't have the salary that matched up to my degree. That's the only reason that I have a finance and investment management degree is because when I was working for another bank called the Bank of Montreal, I seen how much a regional vice president makes, and it was like 150,000, 250,000 a year. So I said, okay, well, that's where happiness is. All I have to do to be happy is make 150, 250,000 a year, because that will be enough to pay for my expenses and where I can go buy a nice suit or some nice clothes, and I won't ever have to worry about money again. But money, like I said, money is not success. Earl Nightingale put it best. He says, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. It's a moving target. You're never going to arrive. It's just expanding your awareness, growing. If you're making 1 million, great, make 10. If you're making 10, okay, great, make 20. If you're making 20, okay, great, make 40, make 50, double it. Because you should be doubling it. And I came back. I quit working at the loan modification business. I started referring my clients out because I wanted to help people get this. That's why I joined this company. That's why I joined this company, to help you guys with what I've learned about the law of attraction, about creating the life that you want. That's why I'm out here in Spain, because I actually did it. I paid my rent for the next 3 months. I bought enough food. I'm gonna go back to the grocery. I eating at nice restaurants. I don't look at the bill. But guess what? There's a pandemic. People are losing their jobs. Great. If you're losing your job, then contact me because we literally have an opportunity for you. Because we have an online business, laptop lifestyle, as they say. We have an online business, and you can work this business anywhere in the world, anywhere. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna enjoy my day. Remember to subscribe to Wealth Mindset Group and join our Zoom calls. And for the people that are on Zoom that are already a part of the business, congratulations to you guys because you guys are actually doing the work to better your life, to create a better version of yourself. So I'll let you guys go. Enjoy your day, and we'll talk tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.